Welcome back to Roundtable, I'm Nemo, and guys, in news that shocked absolutely everybody, I'm serious, this came out of left field here, we actually got a trailer for Infinity Train Book 2. First of all, that title alone just gives us so much new information. There was theories about Infinity Train being an anthology series for a while, but the fact that it is called Book 2 is just such a cool way of breaking up the seasons and the stories, and I haven't even gotten to the trailer yet. I'm just super excited. There is so much to unpack in this trailer, especially because this is Infinity Train. So without further ado, let's not beat around the bush, guys. Let's break down this new Infinity Train Book 2 trailer and give you guys all the information you need to get hyped for Book 2. First of all, let's talk about how the trailer was released. Infinity Train did a super creative thing for the first trailer where you actually had to figure out this piano puzzle online in order to unlock the trailer, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's exactly what they did for this trailer. Before you could actually watch the trailer itself, you had to unlock it with this cool crane puzzle game that was linked with a tweet that announced it. I'm not gonna lie, this was like super frustrating and it took me a while to figure out, but spoiler alert, essentially you have to get the deer to the flower and you get the trailer for Season 2. So what happens in the Season 2 trailer? Well, the first thing we're met with is that familiar Infinity Train passing by animation that we've seen a lot, specifically in the last trailer, and they waste no time introducing us to our new protagonist. That's right, again, it was theorized that there would be a new person on the train every season, and that's exactly what they're doing. Not only is this exciting and interesting and a way to tell so many different stories, but it opens up Infinity Train to just so many possibilities in general, and allows them to dissect a ton of interesting characters. Tulip was already a great start, and I cannot wait to see more from this new protagonist, Jesse. Jesse starts with a number 34 on his hand. It's unknown if this is the first time his number appears on his hand, it's the first time he's seeing his number, or if it's altered from a different number. Though what's interesting though is the background here is identical to the backgrounds you see inside of a tape. Considering what a certain character says later, it's possible that he's actually watching somebody else's tape, or maybe his own tape, which would be even more interesting. The first season showed us that everybody on the train essentially has a tape, it's just a matter of finding it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up watching his own at some point. The only way this could be not true is if a tape disappears with its passenger when they get off, but then there's also the possibility that maybe the tape alters when the person leaves the train, showing their full train journey. If this first clip we're seeing is his number going down, maybe he's empathizing with Tulip's journey. There's so much to unpack here. The next shot we see is Jesse scrolling through photos on his phone. There is one in particular showing him and his brother in a blanket fort and a complete family photo. It's an adorable and somber moment that reminds the viewer how dark and lonely a trip on the Infinity Train really is. But that leads us to some speculation on why Jesse actually is on the train. Now, assuming Infinity Train isn't going to just recycle its divorce subplot, which I definitely don't think they are, perhaps they're going to go with a darker reason in Season 2. Perhaps something involving Jesse's brother. Maybe he prematurely passed away or is currently terminally ill. It's a very hard-hitting subject that hits at the emotional core of an intimate family connection, much like Tulip's own journey. And if they could get away with a divorce subplot, maybe they're pushing the envelope a little bit to see how dark they can go. Or perhaps these photos have nothing to do with him being on the train. I don't know, we're just speculating here. The next scene is Jesse running through the train with what appears to be gym class scooter board strapped to his chest and back, which is totally keeping in line with Infinity Train's humor. Considering the perspective of this shot has a screen cropped in the middle, we can assume this may be part of a montage, similar to Tulip's in the beach car, and the black bars will fill two separate other instances of Jesse and other train cars. This could just be a cool montage way of quickly showing more of what the train has to offer. Considering we see Jesse running and checking his hand, he, like Tulip, could have been timing himself. Jesse already looks like a very different character from Tulip. He looks determined, but in a different way. Whereas Tulip is analytical, Jesse kind of seems more bold and brave, and that Letterman jacket is giving me serious jock vibes. I have no idea what he's gonna be like. The trailer then intertwines a separate scene entirely, as the next clip shows Jesse running out of the train car with a deer in his arm. This deer is actually super important and a big part of Season 2. Not only was this deer the key to unlocking the trailer in the first place, but if you've been keeping up with the Infinity Train shorts, you know that throughout 1-1's documentaries, mysterious deer-shaped holes have surfaced alongside the car being completely destroyed from the outside. Now, more on this deer later, but it's important to mention. So up until this point, we've heard a very familiar voice narrate, explaining they know exactly how to handle the numbers to get off the train. Jesse eventually questions their identity, giving us our big reveal, Mirror Tulip. She's back, baby. She's looking good. Look at that. She shaved her head. I'm proud of her. She goes by MT now, so she's like even cooler than Tulip. If you don't remember, Mirror Tulip was actually a big part of the episode The Chrome Car. She basically started out as Tulip's reflection, and then with Tulip's eventual help, she bursted out of the mirror world and narrowly avoided being caught by mirror cops. But she's changed a lot since we've seen that, and she's also gone through a lot of life experiences with a whole new look, and now she's wearing actual clothes. I don't know how her clothes could change, but you know, it's just Chrome logic. So seemingly, this season could have two protagonists. One that fits in with the whole anthology series aspect, the whole theory of a new character each season, and another serving as a connection or even bridge between Infinity Train Books 1 and 2. This is a great way to consistently welcome new viewers without alienating the audience too much and completely going in blind with a new character, and we still get to have Tulip in a way, which is what I really wanted. Now, the Infinity Train crew has actually previously cited inspirations of Doctor Who, and that actually really makes sense in this context. On top of that, the train cars look more creative than ever. I mean, look at this map car. It literally builds as he assembles the map, and that map style, I cannot get over over it. That is legitimately beautiful. I cannot wait for this episode. Looks like Infinity Train is stepping up with how complicated the cars are getting, but also how unique and interesting they are. I'm just excited to see all the new cars in this season. But okay, back to the mysterious deer, because this looks like the biggest part of the season so far. Alan Dracula is the name assumably given to him by Jesse. It may seem random, but considering that there's an A on Jesse's Letterman jacket, this actually may be connected. If we're gonna go full tin hat with our dead brother theory, maybe Alan was his brother's name and he really likes vampires or something. Again, we're just speculating here. But we quickly begin to see that the deer is not an ordinary deer. It may not even be a deer at all, actually. It could be a machine or an organism of some sort that assumed the form of a deer. I mean, this thing can extend its neck, shoot purple eye beams, transform blue, which likely means something more insidious than we're led to believe. It's definitely an interesting being. And even after all this, it's been leaving holes for one to find. Maybe it's even destroying doors. So what do we make of this whole thing? Well, right now, here is our working deer theory. We know a majority of the Infinity Train, from the cars themselves to the life within them, are actually just technology. We've seen the actual inner workings of the train. There's science behind it in a weird way. Perhaps this deer is a glitch, a bug, or a virus in the system of the train. Something that went wrong and is now roaming through the train with no clear goal in mind, just causing destruction. Maybe it'll even have a tragic ending and the deer would have to be put down. Either way, in this little three-person dynamic is replacing the sort of dynamic that 1-1 had. My point being, it's a mysterious thing that follows them around and is actually more interesting than it looks from the outside and will probably end in a pretty big reveal. Either way, I'm in love with this deer. It's adorable, but also super interesting and cute, and we can already theorize about it, and it's just exciting. Another plotline they're carrying over from season 1 is the return of the Mirror Police from the Chrome car. They were actually a brief Easter egg in one of the shorts through 1-1's telescope, so it makes sense that we're seeing them here. The biggest problem being Mirror Tulip is actually still on the run from severing herself from Tulip and never returning back as her reflection. She's become her own person, but that's not going to stop the Mirror Police from constantly trying to get her or catch her, which I'm sure will come up throughout the whole season and cause problems everywhere they go. The Chrome car was one of the weirdest and most unique episodes of Infinity Train, and I loved it, but I think it's super interesting that they're carrying through the plotline, especially with the Mirror Police, and it looks like it's going to get pretty intense indeed. MT in the Kaiju car gets cornered and pretty much anime slammed by the Mirror Police officer before fighting her way out, I assume. We don't really get to see. The show is getting intense, maybe because MT's a Chrome reflection and not a human being, and they can get away with showing more violence, but either way, I love this new direction. We see another car, which I'm pretty sure is the beach car. If not, it's a car very similar to it, and there's another car with a completely white room. I'm not sure what's going on here, but this looks a lot like the room from the very first shot, so maybe he's not in the tape after all. There's also another room that we can't really get to see very well. It's just kind of blue and dark. And finally, we get to see a lot of other trains that MT passes through, one with cool unique dragons, one that's obviously the Kaiju car. What's interesting is we get another snowman type situation where there's a car with a giant thing that has the door in it. Before it was a snowman, now it's this cat. And finally, we're at the Carnival car, which actually has a ton of secrets in it. The first one I noticed was the cat itself, which we see just a shot earlier. He's now shrunk down and he appears to be inside of this crane game. Oh, little side note, Khaki Bottoms is alive, thank God. He's missing an ear, so we know he didn't walk out of the steward and conductor attack unharmed, but it's good to know he's still kicking. Another big thing in the shot is that the cat returns. She's apparently now working the carnival as a game attendant, but I know she's probably up to way more, and there's no doubt that she's still scamming people, this time with the most rigged things can get, carnival games. I don't know if she's staying there permanently or doing some sort of long game situation, but I doubt she'd have to settle for a job. So there's probably something more nefarious happening. Cat also mentions the line about how there wouldn't be a game without stakes. That pretty much reflects the entirety of the show in one line. What's confusing is that we see this shot of the deer walking up to the crane machine, and then later a shot of the deer in the crane machine. How did the deer get in the crane machine? Is it because it lost trying to operate it, or is it tied to the prospect of the deer being a glitch or a virus? Maybe it can interact with other manufactured objects in the train in a way no one else can. Or maybe this is just some sort of cursed claw machine and the deer got stuck inside and they have to get him out. And that's pretty much it. This was quite the trailer. There's so much information and so much to unpack here, but at the very least, the trailer just got me hyped for book 2. Infinity Train is one of the most unique cartoons out right now, if not the most unique. Everything about what they're doing, from the unique advertising to the fact that they're doing it in anthology books, the fact that they're centering this entire season on a deer. It's just all super cool, and it's something that no other cartoon I know is doing right now, and I really can't wait to see what happens next. We don't have an exact release date. This trailer only gave us the broad date of coming soon, but until then, I guess we'll just have to sit and speculate. But as always, I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Is there anything we missed in this breakdown? Is there stuff you saw that we didn't get to? Let us know in those comments down below, or tweet to us at Roundtable Vids, or me at @StretcherNemo. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can support us on Patreon and get exclusive access to scripts and avatars. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share it, and subscribe to the Roundtable for more incredible cartoon content. As always, guys, I'm Nemo. This is an Infinity Train breakdown, and I will see you next time. Peace.